Mistook her for a Swan emergency broadcasting system. Can you believe it's 24 weeks? I think it's time for a greatest hits show. I've never had a greatest hits show. So this is it. Our greatest hits. We got a 2-for today. Well, hello there, everybody. Hope everybody is doing good. Welcome to, actually, let me turn this up. Too much up. See? Welcome to episode 1 of the Swan emergency broadcasting system. Version 1.0. As with every version 1.0, there will be bugs. Episode 1.0. We promised bugs. We delivered. So, I've been working on it a bit. I got the mic on this side. I think it might be a little better. Colleen, as I mentioned, is in a top secret, undisclosed location in the far north, the bunker, as we call it. She is the superpower of He Mistook Her for a Swan. So we got to keep her, out of harm's way. So some people suggested a little too much swearing. Fuck that. Hard times call for hard language. All right? So Anne is a very exacting person, and she has some pretty definite ideas about what she wants in her music. And what she wants is not what she's seeing in the English folk scene. Basically a bunch of strummers, hateable kind of strummy folk. And she is having none of it. So basically she goes up and sings these songs a cappella because she just can't find anybody who is up to her standards to do something interesting with it. Well, boom. She meets Burt Jansch, world's greatest guitar player at the time. All right, meanwhile, next of our cast of characters, Al Stewart. Al, Year of the Cat Stewart. Hanging about, man on the scene. In the early folk scene, we're talking 64, 65, 66. He's like host of one of the local clubs. He's a musician himself. He, in fact, is the only guest on Jackson C. Frank's album. Go figure about that. And Al's makes his own records too. In fact, I think in his 66 he put out his first album, and apparently it's the first album that says fuck. So, Al fucking Stewart. I'm not going to call him Al You're the Cat Stewart anymore. He's Al fucking Stewart. Now, guess who plays on Al Stewart's record? Do I have to tell you? It's Jimmy Page and a few other dudes. So, Al is fascinated by Burt's rendition of Black Waterside, and he's hanging around. He's got his notebook. He figures it out, sort of. He kind of figures it out wrong, but he figures it out. See how all these things fit together. It's like a fine patchwork quilt. Yeah, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Okay? In our musical journey down this rabbit hole, we discovered some artists that were maybe not so well known to a lot of people, and we wanted to cover them. So for start, Burt Jansch was in that band Pentangle, and I'm looking more into Burt stuff, and holy shit, it's unbelievable what the guy has done. He's the greatest guitar player in the world, as we've discussed on a previous show. There's some other people we discovered. Jackson C. Frank, who we also mentioned. So, for those of you who know who are going, what the fuck you're talking Chinese? What do you mean, Jackson C. Frank? So, we discovered like we discovered America, right? We planted our flag there. Jackson C. Frank, we're the only people who ever heard of him. And everybody else is standing around, all the natives going, who are you? Greetings from the He Mistook Her for a Swan dungeon. When I was first thinking about forming this band, I talked to Colleen, and I said, listen, Colleen, I think we should form a band called He Mistook Her for a Swan. And without any hesitation, she said, yeah, let's do that. Which, I knew that was going to work right away. Whereas I've gotten a lot of grief about the name from other people who just don't get it, and it's too long and it's confusing. For God's sakes, look at some new bands. Our name is normal. Jimmy's out. He's out with his gun. Out on the moors, I imagine, or whatever they have out in northwestern Ireland. And, the sun's going down, can't see anything too good. And he sees something white in the bushes, and he figures it's going to be a great idea to just, pop a few shots off. So, turns out, his girlfriend, Polly Vaughn, was walking around, starting to rain. She's out there doing, getting water. I don't know. What do young ladies do out there on the moors? But, I think she was going about legitimate business. She was not fucking around. She was doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's out there doing legitimate business, okay? Starting to rain. She figures it'd be a good idea to, throw her apron over her head, her white apron. So, what do you think it is that young Jimmy shot? Yep. Shot his girlfriend. Shot her dead. Silly git. Okay. Canada is filled with great poets. I just don't know who they are. Fortunately, we have time. We have nothing but time, for God's sakes. Get Googling. Find some poetry. Support the people, really. They're out there scribbling away, living in little garrots, cutting off their ears. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, that kind of shit. So, He Mistook Her for a Swan, Emergency Broadcast System, Episode 7. Wow, we got some shit to talk about. Holy crap. It's the Queen's birthday. Not even this Queen, like some other Queen. Victoria Day. May 24. See, this is how Canadian it is, okay? So it's not May 24th, and yet it is the May 24 weekend. So it is the weekend named after a case of beer. And how Canadian is that? It doesn't have to be Canadian, It could be X or Keith's or as you like it, It's beer. Gang of Four comes on. They're the first band on. And there's the spotlight. There's the drum riser. They are just killing it. They are fucking killing it. They're amazing. I'm watching from the side of the stage. I can't believe what this guy's doing on guitar. I got to go around to the front. I'm looking. It's killing me. He is so great. It is so great. You would not believe it. So, Gang of Four, you are welcome. Staring at the tube again. Really feel like swearing. Fuck this and fuck that. Eating nibs and cake. Meeting up with friends on a thing called Zoom. It really sucks. So I've been playing this song that I saw Mike Seeger do at the only friggin' guitar workshop I've ever been to. And strangely enough, as I was digging into the Elizabeth Cotton archives last week for you fine Swan people, I noticed she had this song called Vestibule. And I listened to that and I go, holy shit, that's the song. That's the song that Mike Seeger played well back when, and I've been playing it for decades now, and that's weird, eh? So what is this friggin' Vestibule? Now it's part of Calgary, but back in the day, it was a separate city. There was prairie between Black Diamond and Calgary, We go to the little community hall there, and me and the boys, we figure it's a fantastic idea to lay a big line of saltpeter and sugar down the back of the stage for our pyrotechnic show. And just as we're playing some friggin' sensational Alex Harvey band or New York Dolls song, we get our roadie. We had a roadie then. Fuck. When was the last time I had a roadie? To light the thing on fire. Just about sets my frickin' satin pants on fire, for God's sakes. Fills the whole fucking place with smoke. They have to evacuate. We're milling around outside with all the doors are open, and there's a big fucking burn mark across the whole stage. I wonder if it's still there. If anybody's in Black Diamond, Alberta, you let me know. Episode 9. It is it's National Savior Hearing Day, and ironically, it's also John Bonham's birthday. How can I reconcile these things? I mean, it's kind of too late to save my hearing. I mean, maybe some of you guys have crystal clear hearing. I hope you do. I think I stuck my head in the bins at Dead Boys one too many times. I stuck my head right in there to really get a good sense of what the fuck they were doing. And yeah, I guess what the fuck they were doing was loud. And then the harper comes along, the guy who makes harps and plays harps, magical guy. He basically takes all the parts of her body and makes a magic harp. And as soon as he puts it finally together, it just starts talking by itself. It's magic, right? So this harp, as you can imagine, has a few things to say, like, my fucking sister, what the hell? You shoved me in the water. What's up with that? Poof! It's 1982 all over again. Oh my God. We had awful taste in hair and fashion. The Bobcats. Here they are. They were always the darlings of the press. They got the picture. They got the picture in the Star and the Globe. Why? Big hair. That's why. In rockabilly, big hair wins. And 3 intrepid voyageurs began a perilous quest for paradise. That was a mosquito. Paul, Anne-Marie, and Herb, we shall name them, donned their faux raccoon tail hats because even then they knew that fur was cruel. And they set off in their fragile craft down the hostile shores of Queen Street West. Some Suzi Quatro, for God's sakes, don't you remember like when you were a little glam aficionado with your big shoes and your silver pants and your shirt your mom made and everybody just took a look at that album cover of Suzi Quatro in her leather jumpsuit and went, yeah, Suzi Quatro, that's cool, and she's still pretty fucking cool. Jelly Roll has a photographic memory, and he is just such a charming talker that he just starts playing the piano, playing old songs, and telling his story. He's telling the story of jazz, and he's telling the story of his life. He's telling the story of the gangsters, the murderers, and the musicians, while playing this cool, original jazz music. So, Guy Clark, one of the great Texas singer-songwriters, relates the story that when Townes was in high school, one of his teachers was explaining how the sun was going to burn out, and this was a pivotal moment in Townes' life. He's going, "You mean I'm supposed to sit here and like shine my shoes and sit here and be good when the sun is fucking burning out? Are you out of your goddamn minds? The sun's burning out." Sorry, got a little shaky there. Let me tell you, there is some new music out from Willie. Willie, the icon of Texas music. All right, so you're asking yourself, Willie's done like everything. He's done like the Julio Iglesias and the old Torch songs and everything. You're wondering, is this like Willie's? Is he finally doing his thrash metal album? No. Is he finally doing his techno album? Like Are all the German Hausfraus gonna get their glow sticks and go out and dance techno all night to Willie? No, they're not. It's just plain old Willie doing what Willie does, and nobody does Willie like Willie. It's National Daiquiri Day, and I've been thinking a lot about daiquiris lately. I want one. I fucking want one, okay? But I don't have any rum. But I'm going to get some rum. So next episode, I should have like a smoking jacket, even though I don't smoke. I should get a smoking jacket and maybe a monocle. That'd be cool if I had a monocle. Where the hell am I going to get a monocle? Anyway, daiquiris, invented by some dude, an American miner dude, Jennings Cox in the town of Daiquiri in Cuba in 1898. They just threw some shit together in a jigger and shook it up, and they said, "Wow, that's pretty tasty." So well, everybody loves them. Kate Bush, all those people. So he made a posthumous comeback, which is really not all that gratifying, but I guess, better than nothing. I'd rather my success be humus than posthumous. Coffee houses. What is it about coffee houses that makes scrawny, gaunt men and women want to dress up in black turtlenecks and put on berets and play bongo drums, whatever the hell they do there, or, And finally, people are like, where the hell is he? And they hear all this rumbling, and down the stairs, comes Davy Graham. He's got a little Jack Russell Terrier with him, and he's got his guitar case. Pushes his way through the crowd, get the fuck out of my way. And sits up on the stage, ties up his little terrier to the leg of his chair, sits down, proceeds just to give some kind of slightly unhinged political speech for about 45 minutes, and people are like getting like a little nervous, like, uh-oh, what's going on here? He's not playing his guitar, he's just ranting, we don't like it. But then, at the end of all that, he cracks open his guitar case and plays like the most amazing set you've ever seen in your entire frickin' life. Just like the craziest, most wonderful improvised guitar styles that you've ever heard of. Smacks down the guitar case, grabs his dog, and pisses off. I mean, it's the Les Cousins. It's a bit of a gloomy day up here in the Haliburton Highlands. Nevertheless, you may hear the neighborhood children frolicking outside, stoned out of their gourds on edibles. It's a great Canadian tradition, and I love it. I'm in. Count me in, okay? Interspersed in this stage show. One day her husband comes home and says, "I don't love you anymore, I'm leaving." Well, if that isn't bad enough, turns out he's leaving for one of the little starlets in the show. Fuck, man, what is wrong with us? So, anyway, so there's Shirley. She has to still get up at the show every day and see the little starlet, wearing his shirt and him, and she's still trying to sing her songs. Here's a new word for you: dysphonia. Dysphonia. I never heard of it before this week, but that's what happened. Her voice seized up. She couldn't sing anymore because of mental trauma, basically, psychosomatic. She did not perform on stage after 78 for about 20 years. Her voice died of a broken heart. Fuck. They had people playing this new music. It was like the CBGBs of 1900, right? They had this new music, this ragtime music, and it kind of made you want to shuffle your feet and move around and dance. It was dance music, and it was crazy, zany music for the young people, and the old people did not like it at all. There's one little review where from 1900 where they said the counters of the music stores are loaded with this virulent poison, which in the form of a malarious epidemic is finding its way into the homes and brains of the youth to such an extent as to arouse one's suspicion of their sanity. Malarial epidemic. Holy ding dong. Rob, I'm going to call him Rob. You know, the Golden God. He was a big fan of Fairport Convention and Sandy. He loved their shit. Robert Plant's a bit of a folky guy at heart, you know. And later on that year, him and Jimmy Page were writing this song, Battle of Evermore, and as they're writing it, Robert says, you know, this song has two parts. It has two vocal parts. What are we going to do, Jimmy? And they say, I wonder if we could get Sandy in on this. So they call up Sandy. She's in like a dirty shirt. And yeah, so Sandy's all over this. And yeah, she goes in and she blows their minds. Sometimes people working in the record factories made unauthorized color vinyl records. So apparently there's like some weird splattery color vinyl Beatle records that just some dude in the record shop thought, let's make a blue one. Let's make a red one today. And then they just go in the sleeves. Nobody knows. And like, little Jimmy opens up his Let It Be album and, hey, this is red. What the fuck? So there you go. Get one of those and you can retire, I guess. You know, one of them is Paranoid and The Wizard. Okay, so Paranoid, you know, that He Mistook Her for Swan, we do Paranoid, and I think it's just such a fantastic song, and I think our interpretation of it stands up. So if you don't think that, fuck yeah. I think it's great. The other song, The Wizard, is actually maybe my favorite Sabbath song, and it's on the first album. It's weird because they had the single, Paranoid and The Wizard. They ended up on two different albums. How did that happen? Ozzy, how did that happen? Anyway, it happened. So The Wizard, great, such a great song, eh? You know, it starts out with that harmonica, and then it's just got this great riff. The greatest thing about The Wizard is, you need to check this out. About 2 minutes into the song, I'd say 2 minutes and 10 seconds, they're just rocking away, Bill Ward's rocking away, and ping, there is one cowbell hit in the whole song. And it makes me smile every time I hear it. It gives joy to me. It makes life worth living when I play that song all the way through, and I wait for that ping little cowbell, one hit. Check it out, okay? In Manchester, Bob's touring with the Hawks, Robbie and Levon and the boys. Everybody's booing. Some dude, some fool, yells out Judas. Dylan said, no, you're a liar. You're a liar. Then he turned to the Hawks and said, turn it fucking up. And they did. They were right. They were right to turn it up. The haters were wrong. Like Bob said, if you're not busy being born, you're busy dying. And that, my friends, is the story of Bob Dylan. How he got his divorce from the folk rock scene. His declaration of independence. He didn't have to sing Kumbaya around the fire anymore. And that's how folk rock music got invented. And it was a good day. It was a very good day.